Hello, everybody. I'm here today to introduce you to one of the most amazing women in the world. This is my dear friend and just wise woman and amazing counselor, Dorothy Carey. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Susan. Thank you so much for that.
I love you. So I just wanted to give you all a little bit of input and information about Dorothy and what her journey is and what experience and background she has in her life, and why I really brought her into this program to begin with, and why she's such a big asset to this whole team. And she's going to share a little bit with you about what journey work and what her work and modalities are all about, and how that's going to help everyone in the program, help to be able to move through some of those difficult emotions and create a life they love, and also come home to themselves just a little bit more.
Yeah.
So first of all, I have to tell you the story about how Dorothy and I met. So, well, Dorothy can share. When we met, it was really love at first sight.
It really was. We were at a show. Susan had a booth, and she was talking about her modalities that she was using for healing. And I showed up pretty much right next to her, and we hit it off. It was sort of love at first sight. The moment we looked at each other, we knew that we were going to be connected, that we would be connected for a long time. Just one of those perfect connections, really.
Yeah, we were like this.
We were, totally. We were. And you know what? It continued on, and it was sporadic at first because, we knew we were very connected, but we were also very much living our own lives in different places. And the relationship grew organically. We became really good friends, and it was very easy to be together when we were. And now we've just really connected. We've come to this place on the road where it was meant, it was all leading to here.
Yeah.
So
it was all leading to here. It
was all leading to this exciting place where Yes.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about your story and like how you got to where you are today, how you got into coaching, like counseling and people with trauma and all of the above.
Sure. So I was raised in Burlington, Ontario. I had a loving family. There was lots going on behind the scenes that nobody knew about, and I'm 66 years old right now. So, going back to my childhood, a lot of things that were going on. There was various different abuses that were taking place that my family knew nothing about, and I stashed all of those things that were happening to me for many, many, many years. And I think that I was probably smart to do so because there was very little help back then for people going through those things. So later on in life, when I did start to bring them up, I found that it wasn't well accepted in my family at that time. And I love them all dearly, but they weren't ready for it. And I started getting the counseling that I needed around 7 years old. I started to do some deep personal work and began my journey of healing then. And then I started out as a registered practical nurse. Back then they were called RNAs, or registered nursing assistants. I did that training. I went into I worked at Joseph Brand Hospital, Trafalgar Hospital as well, in the well baby nurseries in both hospitals for a number of years on and off. And then I started to build a family. I had 4 children. I found that after my children were born, I still had a long way to go with my healing. I became spiritual in my life. but I was making a lot of huge mistakes because I still wasn't healed. And so a lot of that was spilling over onto my family while I was raising them. And I started digging even deeper and deeper into what needed to happen for me to heal in my life, to make sure that my children's lives were not being affected and touched by all of my stuff. Although they were, and we're still working on things today, even as adults. So my adult children and myself are healing still. It's a process, right? So from there, I started taking a bunch of different courses. I got into, I was working on the crisis line for the Sexual Assault Center in Hamilton. I did that for a year. Volunteering, I volunteered at the Women's Center in Hamilton for a couple of years doing peer counseling. It piqued my interest. I began doing, there was a course taught by Patricia Grunner-Spinner. Some of you who are Hamiltonians probably know of her. She's wonderful. She taught a course out of Catholic Family Services that I took, and it was an entire year on the different modalities of counseling. It was an internship that I worked with her and learned from her. And then I moved out of town for a while and moved up to near Simcoe Way and worked at a women's shelter in Simcoe for about 6.5 years on the front line. I loved the front line. I didn't want to do anything else. I loved being with women and their children and working with them. And then jumping from there, I ran into a health issue that was pretty profound. And it was, I ended up finding out that I had a tumor. I woke up one morning actually and sat down in a chair for breakfast and felt like I was sitting on an egg. And it was,
oh my God.
And I was scared to death. So I went to my doctor right away, and he took a look, you know, just and said, okay, I'm sending you for an internal ultrasound. I'm sending you for various different tests, and then I'm sending you to the Dravinsky to have this really looked at by a surgeon. We got to get on it right away. And so I kind of, at that moment, just took a step back and took a breath. And I'm actually still surprised at my reaction. I thought if something like that were to happen to me, I would react and be crazy and freaked out, but I wasn't. I just took a step back and a breath. And I went to the bookstore and, you know, put out an intentional prayer and found a book called The Journey by a woman named Brandon Bays, and just read the book, found a practitioner in Toronto, went to see the practitioner, and had the most profound, one of the most profound experiences in my life, doing a journey with a wonderful practitioner in Toronto. And long story short, I'm not going to go into all the details, but I did a lot of praying. I've done a lot of my own introspection, shamanic training, informal shamanic training, combined with journey work. I ended up going back to the doctors 5 weeks later to the Dravinsky to see a surgeon. And the surgeon brought in a student, and they were messing around inside of me for like 45 minutes. Took a biopsy. I figured actually that they were taking a biopsy of the tumor.
Yeah.
But I found out when they came back in later, and they just walked in and looked at me and said, there was definitely a tumor here. And we looked for 40 minutes to find it. We could not find it. And I don't know what you did, but we did take a biopsy of your cervix just to make sure that everything's good, but there's nothing there. It's gone. So that was pretty cool. And I ended up doing
the power of self-healing.
It was pretty cool. I ended up taking the whole journey, you know, all the courses in journey work and doing my practitioners for journey work. But I have also combined a lot of my own personal spiritual work along with it, and I've found my sort of own way with things. So I use different tools from various different modalities, and now I'm here today in this place, and so grateful to Susan for bringing me on board. This is just super exciting. I'm really excited to meet everybody. I've met a few of you already, and I'm super excited to meet more of you. And that's my little story.
Oh, little, maybe not so little.
Yeah, probably not little, but still, you know.
So big. You're amazing. It's so great because there's a lot of people that are coming into this program with that same kind of severity of issue. And it just shows you the power when we start to be able to just go in.
Mm-hmm, it does.
The issue, we say the issues in the tissues. It's like,
yes, that's right.
You know, so,
yeah.
and
cell memory.
It's all
on a lot of different levels. Cell memory is, you know, from this time that we're in now and many other generations as well. We carry the cell memories from before we were born. All of that comes with us to here.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of work to do, and a lot to let go of, and a lot to just forgive ourselves for, and sometimes forgive others for, but on a real level. It's so much easier said than done.
No,
you know, simple, not so easy. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's why I love your work so much, because it's just why I chose Dorothy, especially to work with clients in the beginning of the program, is she does the very deep cathartic work. So I know in my sessions, there's literally a pool of water around my feet after our sessions, because I feel like it's like 3 therapy sessions in one. That's what it feels to me, the type of work you do. So
yeah,
share with all the members on the team, all the new clients coming in, share with them a little bit about what they're going to get from working with you, what the type of work is,
sure.
And just so they feel a little bit more comfortable when they're sitting down with you. Yeah.
Sure. Well, first of all, I want to say that, you know, it's a very gentle work. It's deep, but it's very gentle. It's very much what you bring to the table that day, what is there with you today. That's what's there. It could be small, it could be bigger, but we're very gentle about how we approach everything that we do. And I'm just there to hold space for you. Honestly, it's kind of, we'll do a little bit of a meditation, a little bit of a visual, just to get you to a place where your emotions are more up to the surface. Mm-hmm. And then just gently deal with what emotions are presenting. And just kind of bring you to a place where you might, you may visualize a campfire. You might visualize, we usually go for a campfire. Most people are comfortable with that, and just whatever wants to be there at the campfire. So sometimes, let's say your brother shows up, and we're just going to have, you could have like a conversation with your brother. A conversation that you might not be able to have in person, and just empty out what it is that you need to empty out in regards to your relationship with him in a really protected space. I usually make sure that you guys are like, sort of invite a mentor that you would trust, not in the physical, but this is all done sort of on a spiritual level. So people just find that they generally empty out exactly what they need to empty out, and no more than they need to. Often people come in thinking that they're going to have this huge day with all these heavy issues, and it doesn't necessarily work like that. It could be something that you might think to be very insignificant, but that is actually been significant your whole life. And this is the time for you to release that, and then it gives you permission to move forward in your life in a very positive way. a lot of this has to do with being gentle and kind to yourself, and forgiveness towards yourself, and even sometimes forgiveness towards those that we don't think we could forgive. And in this work, there's no faking it. We're not this, the only thing that matters here is the truth that you bring that day. And I'll just be there to hold space for you and make sure that we're treading in just really gentle waters. It's a very, very gentle work.
Yeah, this is it. I think sometimes people feel scared going or overwhelmed or.
That's right.
But that's what and Dorothy does such a great job at encouraging, is creating a space of comfort and no judgment.
Safety.
Right?
Comfort and safety, like feeling safe,
exactly.
is everything. And that's why, even though the work does some deeper things for you in your life, where it actually, I'm very careful and very protective of sort of just holding the space in a very gentle way, and making sure that you're not going off into some crazy water that you don't want to or need to be in. That's all. It's very gentle work.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And in this program, we really speak about healing the unconscious and the emotional landscapes because you can't think your way.
That's right.
You can't think
That's
your way
right. That's so true, right?
Out of your stuckness, you know. There's no amount of ruminating and analyzing.
No.
That's gonna figure that out for you. And that's why I love Dorothy bringing this to the table, because that's what she really gets you to do, is put your mind, that protective mind, even just a little bit on the sidelines, so that you can actually explore some of those unconscious feelings and needs that are really controlling probably like 95% of your actions.
That's right.
You know?
That's
what do you feel, Dorothy? I was thinking about this. Are the successes you feel like that you've seen from people working with you? Just to give people a little.
Well, for sure, it had to start with me, right? Mm-hmm. I wouldn't buy into anything that I hadn't had an amazing experience from, and obviously, I was super relieved that I had that experience. That's not everyone's experience, and I'm not promising anybody, physical healing. We need to go to the modalities that help us the most and all of that. But it did that for me. I think that from my experience with all of the clients that I've had, I've never honestly had a client that didn't get something incredibly significant out of the work. Not ever. I've never had a client leave and say, it didn't work for me. And because I'm not offended. That's the other thing. It always works one way or another. Even if you were to come and say, you know what, this isn't for me, I get it. There's different modalities for different people. People are comfortable with different things, but generally, if they're coming to me, there's something we're going to touch on. And so far in my practice, I haven't had anyone not have, and even into the future where people are saying, you know what, that messed with me or whatever. It's not like that. It's too gentle to be like that. It's too genuine to be like that. So I love the work. I absolutely love it. I'm absolutely excited to hold space for anybody that wants to come in and give it a try. And we'll just see how it goes.
Yeah. I love it. Well, I'm so grateful.
Yes. I'm grateful to be here.
I'm excited.
I'm excited too. I'm excited for all of the people involved. I'm excited for me, because we heal too, right? When we're working with people, we're all healing with each other. This is a global effort now. This is everybody together, healing together. Everybody brings something to the table. This isn't just like us and you. This is all of us together, healing together. That's why I'm excited about this program, because this is what we're doing. We're doing it as sisters and brothers together.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that, I love that. I just love it because it's not like we're the gurus, you're the,
Not at all.
no,
Not at all.
we're all, it's finding your inner guru.
That's right. That's all
And
we're doing.
that's it. So, okay.
Okay. So nice to see you, everyone.
Nice to see you.
Yes, thank you.
You guys will be booking your sessions with Dorothy. Usually you're going to be seeing her for like the 3rd and the 5th session to kind of kickstart this 90 days. So I'm so excited. I'm excited for your journey, and yeah, and it's awesome. We're all doing this together. So thank you, Dorothy.
Okay, thank you very much for having me, Susan.